In fact, they have pleasure in pain. He said, I am telling you that is perversion. To feel pleasure in pain is perversion. To feel pain in pain is normal human reaction. To not feel pain when you are in acute pain is spirituality. So somebody asked, is it possible? He said, of course it is possible. If you are in constant remembrance, you may not feel the pain at all. You will feel a pinprick, you see, and that's it. And therefore, tolerance for human beings, for behavior, for all life. I have never seen Babuji, killing a mosquito. He used to just do like this. Flies used to settle on his bald head, like that, This was always his gesture. So once somebody asked him, Babuji, why don't you use some mosquito spray or something? He said, I am telling you, they have a right to exist as much as you or I have. So this, recognition that all life has a right to exist, each in its own sphere, is also spirituality. All life is sacred because all life is created by God. We are proud and arrogant when we think only we create life. My children are only my life. Fly has, cows have, dogs have babies. Just because we don't see that they suffer, how can we know they don't suffer? Their suffering may be of a different order, different plane. We are not conscious, we are not able to see, perceive. So to recognize that everything in creation has its right, like you see in the Lord of the Rings, the Ent, What about the trees? Today we talk of conservation of nature, protection, after we have destroyed. We are trying to recreate. We want to protect certain species, endangered species. Who made them endangered? They didn't do it themselves. Human interference. So humans, instead of contributing to nature's growth, development, and evolution, which before humanity entered the picture was natural, it evolved by whole universe evolved by itself. We humans contributed nothing to it. After human beings entered the picture, after technology appeared, science appeared, humans have only been destroyers. We have destroyed with a violence, with an abandon, with an avarice for money that no race on earth can ever duplicate. And yet we are always talking. I think people, when they talk of, preservation and conservation, they are only trying to salve their own conscience. They feel so guilty, they say, let us do something. It's like throwing 5 rupees to a beggar. Or planting, a small 1 acre plot and saying, I'm growing trees, I'm so concerned with deforestation in the world. I'm doing my own small bit. That's supposed to be humility. All false, all lies. So tolerance means reducing your needs to permit others to exist. If the Western world, which is the most prosperous world, can avoid waste, the daily waste of food in the USA can feed, I'm told, the whole of Africa 3 meals. Can you imagine? 1 day's waste. As we said earlier, 4% of the world's population consumes 60% of the world's energy. If they conserve their energy, the whole world will have more energy, more facilities for development, more energy employment through various channels of usage, isn't it? But no. We have, we will use. We have, we will waste. We have, we will throw away, starting with the Boston Tea Party, which is a historical episode, Boston Tea Party was the first act of destruction when they threw overboard, chests of tea to keep the price up. So you create a shortage so that the rich people can make money. And when nature creates a shortage by giving you a famine, everybody shouts and prays to God. When a few rich people get together and form a cartel, to whom do we pray? So you see, this is how we are destroying this world. And as Babuji has been repeatedly saying, we are inviting destruction because in a court of appeal of which we have no knowledge, all these life forms we have destroyed, we are destroying, which we are bound to destroy, are already lodging their protests in their own languages, in their weak voices, tiny presences. And there is somebody who is listening to all that. We see this now, earthquake, Bhavanagar, tsunami, some volcano already starting to spew dust, ashes. What will come next, we don't know. They are forecasting another tsunami, this time on the east coast of the USA, I am told. What is going to happen? Well, what will happen will be nothing other than what we have created to happen. You get drunk, you are going to have a headache and nausea next morning. It is not God's deed. You overeat, you are going to have trouble with your stomach. Isn't it? Every reaction has its root in our action, our thinking. So meditation again, every time we come back to this meditation. Meditation helps you to regulate your thought by making you capable of bringing your thought to one-pointedness on one subject. As I said earlier, meditation is nothing but thinking of the same thing continuously. When I do that, I cannot think of anything else. When you listen to music, if you are a real music aficionado, you can't listen to anything else. You don't hear anything else. If simple music can have that effect on you, or you sit with your beloved and, time goes by, you don't notice anything. People come and go, there is a bombshell somewhere, there is a car drawing firewood somewhere. You say, oh, there was I never noticed it. Meditation. No, I don't think I can meditate. I don't believe in meditation. Why? Oh, well, this Buddhist and this and that, and there's so many crooks and gangsters in the profession. Every guru is a crook. Okay, this is Western reaction, again, to be predicted. Who suffers? You suffer. So, tolerance, atmosphere, the slightest wail of pain can change your atmosphere for the worse. At least you should be sensitive enough to be able to change it later by doing your meditation properly. But they say, well, I was meditating and it only brought me sickness. I get emails every day. Ever since we started to meditate Chariji, my husband first lost his job. My sister had cancer, and we have nothing to pay our rent, even rent with. Please tell me, is this the effect of meditation? I said, the fact that you can ask such a question betrays your lack of faith. To lose weight, you do so many things. You go to the gym, you diet like hell, you starve, almost to the extent of having anorexia. But here, if all that excess is taken away for a new beginning, you are afraid. The moment the door closes, the child weeps. Don't leave me alone, Mama. Mommy says, darling, I'm going to get your milk. Babuji said, every time one door is closed, nature opens another door. No door remains permanently shut. This door is closed, this door is open. But you are looking at the closed door and bemoaning your fate and wailing away, Who is to blame? Ye of little faith, Christ said, you see. No, faith is a very big topic that we'll have to take up later. But this sort of attitude to Sahaj Marg, that when there are so many factors in our life which can affect our existence, why do people automatically first blame Sahaj Marg? It is the first option. Oh, because this is the only thing I'm doing now which I never did before. Have you never lost a job before? Oh yes, Chariji, this is the 7th job. Then how did he lose his other 6 jobs? No answer. Oh, but he's threatening to divorce me. Have you been divorced before? This is my third marriage, Chariji. That's why I don't want it to fail. How did your two other marriages fail? Were you doing Sahaj Marg then? Yeah, I know, but Chariji, it's difficult to understand these things. Then why do you blame Sahaj Marg? So Sahaj Marg is the first, casualty in any human change. Unless it's changed for the better, in which case, I applied for the job. I really didn't expect to get it, Santosh. Perhaps it is Master's grace. Very grudging gratitude. Perhaps it is Master's grace. But I'm a double PhD and I suffered a lot, I'm telling you. I have worked as a shoe shine boy. I have done delivery for FedEx. All sorts of funny things. And yet when you get this job which is going to pay you $250,000 a year, yeah, but Babuji's grace or no grace, my qualifications count for something too. Oh, I see. Yeah, I know, because I didn't have those qualifications, Dick or Tom, whatever. I never got a good job. Yeah, I've been wondering, Chariji, why you know so many things, you never really held a good job. So now I become the target, you see. So this sort of thing goes on and on and on in life. Babuji once told me that to be a guru is a tragedy. In a family of 3 or 4 or 5 children, you are always worried about your children. You are anguished about your children. You don't know what is going to happen to them. They go to school, especially in the US I've seen, Chariji, I suffer, when my child goes to school, I don't know whether the child will come back safe. I said, why, what can happen? Oh, she said, anything can happen, I said, but they go in a school bus, the school is protected, and your school buses are like holy cows. Nothing can overtake them, nothing can stop them, And if anything happens to a school bus, you go to jail, even if it's his fault. Oh, but Shari, that girl has to get down and walk from the bus stop to my house. She can be gang raped. She can be mugged. She can have purse stolen. And to the contrary, I had once a European Abhyachi here staying with us. She stayed about a month. She learnt Madras thoroughly. She left to go to Colombo by train to pick up a ship worker way back by working to LA. I said, will you get a job? She said, yeah. I don't want any money. I just want my free passage. But apparently she couldn't get it, so she came back. One morning she appeared. I said, you come back? She said, Chariji, I was not able to get a job. So I came back. I said, when did you come? She said, I came yesterday evening. I said, where were you? Why didn't you come here? She said, I slept on the station in a bench. Station platform in a bench. I said, it's dangerous to do it. She said, not in India, Charlie. If I landed at New York, Kennedy Airport, anything can happen to me when I come out and cross the road to get into a taxi. Here she said, it's safe. I said, to sleep on a bench in a station? She said, yeah, nothing can happen in India. India is a tame country, An American girl. And experience proves it. We have mad women, good-looking mad women, young mad women, roaming the streets, nothing happens to them. In America, you can guess what would have happened to them. So this is the atmosphere of India as a whole, you see. When we create our atmosphere at home, we make it possible for this atmosphere to radiate out. The more and more we do, the more and more it spreads. It goes to the village, it goes to the city, it goes to the state, and eventually it fills the whole country. One man, that's why Babuji said, one saint of caliber is enough for this whole world. See. He sits and meditates, the whole world is changed. I sit and meditate, my house is changed. You sit and meditate, at least your meditation room is changed. You see how it works. The more we do, the more the world benefits. My benefit is, of course, always assured. So the less I eat, the more people can eat. The less I spend, my money can be used for more and more. The less electricity I waste, more can use that electricity. Not spend more to save more, but save more to let others spend more. So this sort of thing goes on, and we talk repeatedly about these things. And I've heard people comment, yeah, but Babuji, he earned 30 rupees a month. What does he know of wealth? And the next man say, yeah, esteemed, but unless you have been rich, you don't know what pleasure there is, richness. One day I overheard and I caught him in the samosa shop. I said, you think a man needs to be rich to enjoy? Yeah, I guess, Chariji. I mean, how can you taste money unless you have money? I said, what are the basic pleasures of life? Eating, drinking, and the third thing. Well, eating and drinking, the poor may not be able to do as much as you do. But the third thing is what you are all looking for. That is common to all human beings. Whether you are in a cottage or out on the open under a tree, in the privacy of a hedge, do you think you enjoy anything more in your air-conditioned rooms on mattresses this thick? He said, yeah. Well, look at it that way, Chariji. You are a great guy, I'm telling you. Okay, see? So it goes on like that, and then we talk of faith. What is faith? I said, suppose Harry brought you to Master. How did you come? Why did you come? He said, yeah, I guess because he invited. Is that the only reason? No, I trust him. When he says something is good, it's got to be good. So you begin with trust in your friends. He said, yes, but without him I wouldn't be here. Okay, now you have come for the second time alone. Let us assume. Why do you come? He said, well, I found Babuji to be a nice old man, He's nice, he's well behaved. He wants to help us. So is it natural to come? I said, yes, of course. Now who did you trust? He said, for heaven's sake, I trusted my own judgment. Okay, you trusted your friend. Your experience was good. Now you trust your own judgment because the experience was good. Will you come for a third time? Oh, you bet. I will. I said, why will you come again? Because he said, I find that my visits are improving me in a certain way. So I said, you begin with trust in your friend, trust in yourself. Now you trust in what the Guru is doing for you. So you believe, you trust. The third action is faith. He said, can you explain to me a little more what is faith? I said, do you believe in everything? He said, no, I believe in things which I see for myself, which I have tested and proved. I said, okay, you believe in what is believable in your own experience, isn't it? Yes. I said, I believe that the moon is hanging up there in the atmosphere. Is it true? He said, of course. I said, why? He said, because science says so. I said, why should I trust science? He said, for heaven's sake, man, you got to trust something. I said, I trust something, and that's my master. Without testing, I said, I don't need to test. You trust the moon is there, the sun is there. I know my master. How do you know him? I said, well, my intuition tells me. My heart tells me. Oh, yeah, but suppose you are not able to judge like that. Then I said, you come and sit repeatedly and verify with your experience. For how long? I said, for as long as it takes. When you take something new and he says, have a sip and see for yourself. You take a sip, then you swallow the glass. You still like it, you go to the shop and buy a bottle to take home. Yeah, but you still haven't told me what faith is. I said, faith is the ability to believe in the impossible. No, Chariji, you are asking too much, This is too much. I mean, for heaven's sake, it's not logical, man. Yes, I said in faith there's no logic. Is there logic in love? You married your wife. Yeah, I fell in love with her, but what's the logic in love? Yeah, but Chariji, love is not a subject in which you can allow logic to come in. I said faith is the same thing. So like this, arguments go on. What is this? What is that? Babuji used to be able to demolish all such arguments with one stroke. What is faith? He said, do you think you are living? He said, yes. What is the proof? He said, Master, I am alive. He said, that is faith. You don't know you are alive. He said, but you can't say that, Babuji. He said, why not? Because if you go unconscious, are you knowing that you are still alive?